Memorial Day just a week away, marking the unofficial start of summer. And as families head to the beach, pool, and other outdoor activities, we're taking a closer look at how to stay safe in the sun and around the water. Joining us this morning, we have Dr. Cara Marie Jackson, emergency medicine at Riverside Health. So good morning, Dr. Jackson. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Let's get into this. What are the biggest health risks families should watch out for now that summer is about to start?
So some of the big health risks that we watch out for in emergency medicine are things like heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and sunburn. You'd be surprised how many people actually come in with some pretty nasty sunburns during the summertime. Things like heat stroke and heat exhaustion happen when you are out in a hot environment with very little water, shade, or cooling mechanisms for too long. The main concern that we worry about with heat exhaustion is you'll start to feel dizzy, you'll feel a little thirsty. You may notice that you're sweating more than normal. Some people complain of nausea. Heat stroke is when you actually start to become confused. You may notice that you're having trouble walking, making words, and then you may even become unconscious. And so during a heat stroke, that is definitely a time to call 911 and get your EMS providers to come help you. With heat exhaustion, you want to remove yourself from the heat, get yourself into a cool environment, drink lots of water. One of the best ways to cool down is sit in front of a fan that's moving some cool air around, and that'll help protect you from the heat exhaustion.
So you mentioned drinking lots of water. Let's talk about how much water people should be drinking on these hot days, and what are some signs that they may already be dehydrated?
Yeah, so at least 8 ounces, 8-ounce glass of water. I know everybody carries around their little emotional water bottle with them now. And so filling that up several times during the day is very important. One of the first signs that you are actually starting to get dehydrated is you'll stop sweating as much. And so if you've been outside working in the yard and you notice, oh man, my shirt's not quite as wet, I'm not dripping sweat as much anymore, that's a sign that you're actually getting dehydrated and you need to get inside, remove yourself away from the heat, and drink a couple glasses of water. When you start to feel thirsty, you're actually behind hydrating yourself. And so don't wait until you're thirsty to start getting up on your hydration.
Yeah, I think these are all things everyone should keep in mind. But let's talk to the parents now. You know, I've got a couple of young ones. They love to be outside. So what are some important things that parents should know about keeping their kids safe in the sun?
Absolutely. Sunscreen is a real important one. I know that a lot of the rash guards now have SPF 50 in them. So having kids wear loose-fitting clothing that will cover most of their skin, that'll help them stay cool and protect them from sunburn. If you're going to be outside grilling or near water, make sure you know who adult is going to be watching the children at all times. It doesn't take very long for kids to fall into a pool or get lost or even bump into a grill and get hurt. So make sure that you guys are doing a good job of keeping an eye on them while you're outside having a good time. And again, life jackets are important, and reapplying the sunscreen every 2 hours is going to protect everybody from getting burned.
Yeah, good reminders there. What SPF do you recommend, by the way?
So I'm a fan of anything over 20. 50 is really good. And then the mineral sunscreens are actually showing really good coverage, better than even the spray. But if you're chasing a little one and all you can do is spray them down, you got to get the sunscreen on them somehow.
Yeah, that's a very good point there, I tell you for sure. I want to ask you, because you mentioned it's very easy for kids to just quickly fall into the pool. It just happens so quickly. Can we talk about some of the other big water safety risks, not just at the pool, but at the beach and the lake as well?
Yeah, so I grew up as a lifeguard in high school and in college, and one of the things that you are taught as a lifeguard that you don't see in movies is that drowning actually is very quiet. And so in all the movies, everybody's really dramatic, lots of splashing, but actually it's usually just a quiet slip under the water. So I do recommend wearing really brightly colored clothes if you're going to be going to a pool. Clothes in the green and blues family are actually hard to see underwater, and so you can't watch your kids as closely. So really bright neon colors will help you identify your kids in the pool and in the water a little faster. And then making sure that kids know how to swim or know how to get to the side of the pool when they're going to be in there. And of course, having adults keeping a very close eye and taking turns keeping an eye on the kids in the pool is very important.
Yeah, great tips there. We talked about those, swimsuit colors and things like that. Something you don't think about, but it's really important when you're going to be around water. So if people don't take anything else away from this conversation, because I know we talked about a whole lot, your top advice for families as we head into Memorial Day weekend.
Reapply your sunscreen every 2 hours. Make sure everybody in the family has water, including pets that are going to be outside. And if you start to feel dizzy or feel exhausted more than normal, get yourself inside, even if it's into a restaurant or a local library or a museum where there's AC or some kind of cooling system. That'll let you have a really fun summer.
I love that. Thank you so much for your tips and advice as we head into Memorial Day weekend. We really appreciate your insight.